Hey everybody, here's another stupid video from Drunk Rhino. I keep forgetting to hit the record button, so I start talking and realize I'm not recording anything. Anyway, just got over the newest Mandalorian episode. It was definitely better than the last one, but it feels like that the whole story has been leading up to the idea that Baby Yoda can force heal people. And I hope, not that anybody's watching my video, but I hate to ruin it for you, but the whole idea of this show, especially this episode, is to build up the idea of force healing. Because it's going to be very prominent in the rise of Stupid Walker. They're going to ruin 40 years of story to bring in force healing. And how do they give it to us? By giving a cute little puppet healing somebody. And this whole guy, he's the bad guy. Has been a bad guy pretty much the entire series. Goes, oh no, I'm gonna be a good guy now because this little force thing healed me. It just sucks. They're just, and I've been watching YouTube videos for the last few days talking about the Rise of Skywalker and how bad it's gonna be. And that's all good and dandy, and I knew it was gonna suck. But now, watching The Mandalorian and its connection to the Rise of Skywalker is simply to introduce force healing. It's never been brought up before, but now all of a sudden, a little Yoda species can heal people through the force. Even though he's supposedly an infant or faking an infant and he's an adolescent or a baby or a young child, whatever, he can force heal people. And that's your answer to when you watch The Rise of Skywalker, that all of a sudden Super Rey will be able to heal people. And then nobody's gonna watch my video, but if you do, spoiler alerts, Rey's gonna die and Ben Solo is gonna bring her back to life through force healing. It's just so fucking stupid. So Jon Favreau got pigeonholed, put into a corner and told, you have to write this story, but make sure that you give an explanation for force healing, because force healing is a new thing, and who better to introduce us than Baby Yoda, because the Yoda species is the strongest with the force. So the whole idea of The Mandalorian was to create a story to introduce force healing so that it can propagate the Rise of Skywalker and make it okay for Rey, Wonder Rey, or even Kylo Ren / Ben Solo to pick up this force ability out of nowhere that's never been brought up before, but all of a sudden, because of the movie has to happen, Jedi can heal people now. Great. So they're healers. In 40 fucking years of this story, including the original trilogy, or Star Wars, or George Lucas's goofy attempt to try and tell the story of Anakin Skywalker, or all the canon, or EU as it's called. As far as I know, no one's ever talked about Force healing. But now, because we need it for a new movie, we're going to pigeonhole it into The Mandalorian. Because we need to make it part of canon. "40 years of a great story just shat on by a bunch of people who didn't know what they were doing." And I take back what I said about my last video about Natalia Tina being squandered as an actress. She's still a good actress. She was just written into a stupid fucking story, and she did the best that she could with it. How long can this bullshit keep going on? Oh, and I'm drunk rhino, so I need a drink. But this shit just keeps going and going and going. They don't care about fans like you or me. And you can make fun of me. I'm only 37 years old, so I wasn't alive when the first two movies came out. But they frickin' were part of my childhood. I watched the re-releases before the great Lucas ruined them. I watched the re-releases at what was called the Cine Capri here in Phoenix, Arizona. Or down there in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't live there anymore. And it was the greatest theater in the entire town of Phoenix. It was like 1,000 seats in a theater style with a um, huge screen and a curtain that drew back when the story started. When I went and saw the re-releases of those movies, we were lined up around the entire theater, 1,000-seat theater, waiting to get in like it was a theme park ride. And I had seen the movies on VHS, and I loved them. And then I got to go see them in the theater, and it was the greatest thing as a fan of those movies. I got to see them in the theater for the first time in my life, because when I was a child, sorry, when they came out, I was either not born or I was 1 year old. But it was amazing. It reinvigorated my love for the story because I got to see them in the theater for the first time. And then I saw the prequels, and I'm like a few members of the Phantom Menace. I defend them. A lot of episode one is very stupid and campy, but can't get over Darth Maul or the Rise of the Fates song. Um, episode two, I was a really big fan, especially to see uh, Anakin fight strongly for the very first time, but then to see, I remember watching it live the very first night when Yoda summons his lightsaber. I wanted to jump out of my seat. That was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. The movie had flaws, obviously, but I loved that. And then Revenge of the Sith. It was great. It had horrible dialogue problems. I've said it before. George Lucas is a great story writer, but he's a horrible director because he made Hayden Christensen look like a piece of shit. But Hayden Christensen is a very good actor if you look him up in good movies. But he did much better in the third movie. So now we have this stupid fucking movie coming out tomorrow. Because I guess right now it's Wednesday, so it's coming out tomorrow, Thursday. And it's just gonna shit on the six movies before it. I don't count 7 and 8. I like The Force Awakens, but it's not Star Wars. Last Jedi sucked. Everybody knows that. So this movie's gonna come out, it's gonna shit on everybody. Every Star Wars fan. So, good for them. But the real reason I made this video is because it was made clear by watching The Mandalorian today that the whole reason for the story was to introduce Force healing by cute little baby Yoda so they could perpetuate the story of Force healing people. Just wait. And if you don't want to watch this video, you're not going to watch this video. But if you do, you're going to learn that Force healing is a big thing in The Rise of Skywalker. But you wouldn't know about it unless you watched The Mandalorian first. And that sucks. That really, really sucks. Because it seems like an entire show was created to introduce this stupid frickin' thing that was never talked about before. Never. And now all of a sudden, well, maybe it was in the EU. I don't follow the EU that well. I've read a lot of books, but not Star Wars books. But that's how it's retroactively introduced, is that the baby Yoda can heal through the Force, so can our main characters in this new stupid Disney trilogy. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I'll make a video saying, I admit it. No, they didn't bring it up in The Rise of Skywalker, but I will. I'll make a video. Not that anybody's watching, but I will make a video and say, you know what, I was wrong. But everybody knows that Force healing is going to be a big part of this movie that comes out tomorrow, and it's going to be so poorly unexplained. People who haven't watched the Mandalorian show are going to go, what? I've never heard any evidence of Force healing. But then again, the people that are going to go watch it, who are just going to go watch it to watch it, they're not going to care. Because they don't care about Star Wars like I do, like the Phantom Menace does. And that sucks. So, I've gone on too long, talked too long. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this video, but if they do, I really appreciate it. Sorry about the quality, as always. I'm recording on my phone. But, yeah, that's my critique on a very good episode of The Mandalorian. I really liked it. It had a lot of good plots, a lot of good lines. It brought back a lot of characters from earlier episodes. They finally named Quill instead of just being I have spoken. Got his name. Cara Dune is freaking awesome and doesn't hurt that Gina Carano is so freaking gorgeous. We finally got to see, I won't say his name, but we finally got to see him, and it's all good. But it just feels like this whole fucking series was built to introduce Force healing so that the Rise of Skywalker can say, hey, look, there's been Force healing since right after the fall of the Empire because Baby Yoda could do it. So, let's say 29 years before Force Awakens, there was this Baby Yoda who, now granted, his species is very powerful in the Force, but now all of a sudden, that's our explanation for why in this next movie that Wanda, Ray, and Kylo Ren are all of a sudden going to be able to use force healing because the Mandalorian introduced it because Baby Yoda can't. That's frustrating. Thought thought Dave Filoni and Sean Favreau were better than that, but apparently they do what they're told to do. Man, I understand that. You're getting paid millions of dollars to tell a story, but to tell you this is what you have to do, this is what you're gonna have to do. That's the problem with Star Wars these days. Problem with Hollywood these days. Listen to Gary Beekler, he'll tell you. They get millions and millions of dollars thrown at them, but they have to tell the story that they're told to. But it's hard to tell a story when you're so limited in what you can say. Anyway, Drunk Rhino out. I'm gonna wrap this video tomorrow because I'm drunk. But if you watch it, I appreciate it. And you have a good night. Hail the Phantom Menace. Hail Red Ruddock. Hail Geeks and Gamers. Hail Overlord DVD. And maybe one day I'll get to talk to those guys. But they're big league and I'm not. It's only my second video. I just wanted to make it because I'm tired. I'm not sleepy. I'm just tired of this bullshit. Tired of taking a good idea of a show like The Mandalorian and just shoehorning it into The Rise of Skywalker. Fucking sucks. But either way, if you watch the video, thank you for doing so. I will. No, I'm not gonna review one of theirs. I'll see you next time if I do another one. Have a good one.